Shalom. I'd like to say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Kodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, who are the true leaders of Israel today. And salutations to my Akim, who do this work in truth and sincerity, who are risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai, and the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we're the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. This is your brother Yakali from the GMS Jamaica Kingston camp, and this video is an update regarding the biblical prophecy of famine, which is speedily approaching. It's well on its way, and all of the signs in regards to this famine coming in are clearly there. And what's happening right now is that it's not stopping, it's not getting any better, okay? Because a lot of times people would scoff and scorn and mock this truth when we talk about the famine coming in, and they'd say, yes, even if the Bible does say that famine is coming in, it's not going to be in our lifetime. Look at what's going on, etc. But no, I'm here to deliver the great news to you people, specifically you Israelites, that the famine is coming, and it's coming in this lifetime, and it's coming very, very soon. It could be, it could hit in a major way within the next couple of months, even the way things are looking. And things are not getting any better, man. Because, you can mention certain things to people in this world, and you can talk about the price increase or the gas increase, but overall price increase for everything. And people will be like, oh, it's just a temporary thing. It will be back in normal in like 2 weeks or in a month or whatever. But the times are showing that that's not happening. And there was a time where things would, become worse and then get better. But no, we're in the time now where things are just going to keep getting worse. Okay? I'm going to start off in the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 17. Ezra saw the vision, and he said, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Right, so we're at this stage now. Okay, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. This is where we're at right now in biblical prophecy. 2nd Ezra chapter 16 is speaking. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 is speaking regarding these prophecies. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So the reason why Yahweh Shemeshai is bringing this level of judgment upon our people is because our people are wicked, man, and it will be the way that they will be corrected. And that is referring to the wicked 2/3 up in America, who will ultimately face that thermonuclear destruction by way of the missiles, okay? And then the rest of you Israelites around the world that are wicked, that refuse to hearken unto the word of Yahweh Shemeshai, all right? These judgments are coming upon you, and it is intentional from Yahweh Shemeshai. And he will be using, well, not he, they, Yahweh Yahushai, through the Spirit of Yahweh, will be using Esau Edom upon our people, man, who are the so-called white people. That is the great sword upon our people, and that great sword is going to be coming in a very vicious way in these last days. All right? It says that he'll be coming with great wrath because he knows that he hath but a short time. Okay, so great wrath is coming. Okay, so Esau's going to be coming full force with his sword upon our people, man, and it's not going to be a pleasant time. As Ezra said, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? And of course the answer is Yahweh Shemeshai for those of us that believe and that are hoping to be a part of the elect, because the things that are coming, it will have to be by way of heavenly intervention, divine intervention, spiritual intervention, that we will be able to escape the things that are coming. Okay? So this famine also is going to be something that we're going to be needed to be delivered out of. Okay? But here it is, food banks struggle to feed hungry Americans. Now last year, the same thing was happening as the time approached Thanksgiving. I remember last year they had people from lower class to middle class, individuals who drive even, things like BMWs, Audis, etc., that were struggling to purchase food. Okay? And it hasn't gotten any better because now this is the second year in a row that this is happening. So food banks across the United States, which is Mystery Babylon the Great, that's what America is, are struggling to keep up with the number of Americans in need of assistance amid record inflation and the supply chain crisis, Salakio, which have gripped the nation ahead of the holiday season. The Alameda County, California Community Bank Food Bank was forced to make a lot of really tough choices due to inflation and the rising cost of food. Its executive director, Reggie Young, told NPR on Saturday, with prices spiking for some core food items, such as fruit, vegetables, and canned meats, he said the bank was forced to stretch their budget as much as possible to ensure that families in our community have the food that they need. And you see this inflation, the spike in food prices, man, it's being felt worldwide. I'm out here in Jamaica and I'm feeling it, man. Okay, I'm feeling it where places that I usually purchase food from, everywhere has had a price increase. Everywhere. Okay? One place, a Mediterranean place that I used to frequent, for the same meal that I used to purchase, it used to cost $1,200. Okay? Now, if you are an American listener, all you have to do, or anywhere from the world, all you have to do is just convert it, and you can see how much that would cost. I believe the US to Jamaican dollar right now is about 155, so you just divide the 1,200 by 155. But right now, I went there the other day, I think it was Friday, and that same meal costs $2,000 now. So that's an $800 price increase. And not only did the food cost more, okay, the quantity is less as well. And not only is the quantity less, but the quality is lower as well. And these are the times that we're in, man. And that is, I'd say, for the most part, across the board, in regards to the quantity and the quality as well. Okay, I can really only think of one place that is maintaining its standards. Okay, but even they have increased their food prices. The food banks are also being crippled with transportation issues and lengthy delivery times. Last year, we were able to get things from about 2 to 3 weeks. However, today we have to really double that time frame, Young said. Growing inflation and supply hiccups are especially painful ahead of America's upcoming holiday season, with some food banks already resorting to giving out chicken, fish, and other meats for Thanksgiving instead of the traditional turkey. Just to put it in perspective, last year we did anywhere from 5,000 to 6,000 turkeys, and this year I have 5 in my freezer, said Tracy Engel, director of Arkansas River Valley Regional Food Bank, on Friday, adding that food deliveries are now taking up to 4 months due to the huge rise in transportation costs, you see? So everything is just breaking down, man. Okay, and it's not going to get any better. It's just going to keep getting worse and worse until the food shortages, which they've already hit, but they're going to hit in a major way, okay, where people are going to start starving. It's not because there's no turkeys, it's that the turkeys are in the wrong places at the wrong time, at an agricultural economist at Michigan State University. So, of course, that's another way how the famine is going to be brought in. It's not necessarily going to really be that that there's no food, but the shortages are going to be, what's the word, like, made. I'll just use that word, made, because the food can't get to the places, right? And even right now, you have the food can't come off of the ships and all those kinds of things. Okay. We could dismiss in the term shortage, right? But it is a shortage overall. Okay. Seeing a rise in Americans seeking assistance over the food banks are increasingly calling for more volunteers and donations to meet the heavy demand. Feeding America COO Katie Fitzgerald warned this week that food insecurity for those in need has gotten worse, and that food banks across the country will be unable to absorb the cost for much longer. The organization oversees more than 200 food banks in the U.S. called the shortages an insult to injury to struggling families who have already suffered so much over the past few years. Joe Biden has been widely criticized for his perceived failure to rein in the cost of living in the U.S. has risen by a 2-decade record 6.2%, according to a Department of Labor October. Likely get worse. Inflation will likely get worse before it gets better, and even Biden himself admitted that the prices are too high. So this is just the times that we're in, man. And it's not going to get any better. Okay, obviously you can see that this famine is, if your eyes are wide open, the famine is manufactured, it's generated, it's intentional. Okay, but let's read the rest of 2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 20. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So our people are not going to turn regardless of all of the judgment coming upon them. So this is just the way that they're going to have to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great destruction. And that's the delusion of these people, right? Because they'll be like, okay, well, these things are going on. Maybe there's still some other things that maybe food prices where you still can get things cheap. And I'm going to play a video for an example of that. From the Inside Edition, is meat really that expensive right now?
The latest fallout from the supply chain and work shortage crisis, rising prices at the meat counter. Bacon and certain steaks are more expensive than they've been in a decade. Les Trent has details.
Meatflation is rocking the nation. This T-bone steak has set me back about $75. The price has gone up about $5 a pound in the past year alone. The reason for the increase? Labor shortages at processing plants and the supply chain bottleneck. But if you love meat, there are cheaper alternatives to fight meatflation. New York chef Franklin Becker says, think about switching to cheaper cuts of beef.
If you're looking to spend a little less money and you're looking to save, then you've got to go for the secondary cuts or the off cuts, such as the chuck or the flank steak. Those are going to be the cheaper cuts, right? But as soon as you start looking towards filet mignon or prime rib or New York strip, that's where you're spending the big dollars.
Cooked with a little salt and oil over high heat, cheaper cuts can taste really good.
That's delicious. Turns out the only meat that appears to be cheaper this year than last is chicken. It's about 38 cents a pound cheaper.
Yeah, so you see, first of all, America is through. For America to be like this, be saying these kinds of things. Oh, by the way, just buy the cheaper meat. That's what they're telling you people. Then they're going to mention as well, oh, chicken is cheaper, but that's the prophecy, right? Where it says, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, right? So they're thinking to themselves, okay, well, even though these things are happening, these food prices are increasing for these certain things, there are still some cheaper alternatives that we can get through. But no, even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And that is the period that we're in right now, man. Okay? And the famine is going to get so bad that this is going to be happening. UN food distribution at Belarus-Poland border descends into chaos. All right, so this is going to be heading to America, Jamaica, and everywhere worldwide, man. People are going to be acting out like this, man. These are the days that we're going to be coming into. Food deliveries to stranded migrants at the Belarus-Poland border descended into a stampede and several fights. Footage shows desperate migrants surrounding a representative of the UNHCR as the situation became unmanageable and violence broke out. Okay? So this time is coming, man, where it's going to be chaos for people to purchase the food. Okay? So anyway, man, just another update regarding the famine, and there will be more updates regarding it until that Amos 8 and 11 comes, man, that famine of the word. Okay, so with that, I'd like to say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemishai, Bashar Makal Kodesh. What about a Babal? Shalom.